Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how your hair seems to change as you get older, almost as if it has a mind of its own? You try to style it, but no matter what you do, it just doesn't hold how it used to. As we age, our hair goes through a transformation, and what worked before may no longer work now. Make no mistake, taking care of your hair as you get older requires a different approach, but it doesn't mean you can't look and feel your best. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now let's begin. If you've been noticing more scalp showing through or feeling like your ponytail has suddenly become thinner, I want you to know that you're not alone. It's something many women face, but it's rarely talked about openly. It's a completely normal experience that, in my opinion, is far too often brushed under the rug. After the age of 60, around 55% of women experience noticeable hair thinning. And this isn't something you're imagining, it's biology at play. As estrogen levels begin to decrease during and after menopause, the impact is most felt in your hair follicles. The changes happening inside your body mean that each strand of hair begins to grow back finer, weaker, and less vibrant than before. It's as if your hair, once full and thick, is slowly being stripped of its former glory. To make matters worse, your hair's growth cycle shortens as well, which means fewer hairs are actively growing, while more rest in the shedding phase. It's a tough reality that no amount of hair care, however dedicated, can entirely combat. What's even more disheartening is that as we age, scalp circulation naturally decreases, making it harder for hair to thrive. And here's the thing, this thinning doesn't just affect how you look. It can shatter your confidence in ways words can't even fully describe. I think we've all been there, right? When something as seemingly simple as your hair starts to change, it's like everything else follows suit. I remember Margaret, a retired school principal, who came to me in tears. She felt like a shadow of her former self, unable to recognize the woman in the mirror. "I feel invisible," she confided, her voice breaking. "My hair used to be my crowning glory, and now it's just gone." Her hair, once her pride, had thinned to the point where it affected her self-worth. It wasn't just the physical change, it was the emotional toll that came with it. Margaret had stopped attending social events she once cherished, and she felt completely disconnected from the vibrant woman she had been. We worked together, coming up with a personalized transformation that gave her more than just a new look. It gave her back a sense of herself. We started with a layered cut that fell just below her chin. It was feminine yet practical, long enough to feel graceful, but short enough to add volume. Those strategic layers created the illusion of fullness, and in my opinion, they completely transformed her appearance. Next, we added volumizing products specifically designed for mature hair, lightweight foams that lift from the root without weighing down delicate strands. Finally, I suggested a simple supplement regimen including biotin and vitamin D after she checked in with her doctor. Just 6 weeks later, Margaret was hosting her first dinner party in over a year, surrounded by laughter and compliments on her hair. "People couldn't stop complimenting me," she said with a smile that lit up the room. That smile, in my opinion, was the real transformation. She wasn't just happier with her hair, she was reconnecting with the joy she had once lost. It's important to remember that hair thinning, as difficult as it is, can be part of the natural aging process, but the right cut can make all the difference. Equally important is how we hold on to outdated hairstyles that no longer serve us. Trust me, I get it. It's incredibly hard to let go of a hairstyle that's tied to so many memories. The way it looked when you first met your spouse, the way you felt when you got that promotion, or the pride you felt when you stepped out looking your absolute best. It's more than just hair, it's a symbol of those moments when you felt at the top of your game. But here's something that I think is so important. When was the last time you updated your hairstyle? If it's been years, it's time to take a long, hard look. If you've noticed that your styling routine is taking longer yet yielding less satisfying results, or your hair is constantly flat and hard to manage, those are quiet signals that your old style might not be doing you any favors anymore. These signs can be hard to accept, but they're there to remind you that you deserve a fresh start. I'll never forget Barbara, a 68-year-old retired nurse who came to me still sporting the same curly perm she'd had since 1986. "My husband likes it," she said, holding onto her purse nervously, as if she feared she might be betraying an old part of herself. We talked about modern alternatives, and instead of ditching her curls, we made them looser and more natural, with face-framing layers that softened her features. We also swapped her tight perm for a gentler body wave technique. The length stayed just the same, skimming her shoulders, but the look became much more contemporary and much less stiff. The change wasn't just physical, it was emotional too. 2 weeks after her appointment, I got a call from her husband who told me she looks 15 years younger, but more importantly, she's smiling at herself in the mirror again. In that moment, I realized that the right hairstyle doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you feel about yourself, too. I believe the right hairstyle doesn't erase your age, it celebrates where you are in life. Today's styles for mature women embrace soft layers, natural movement, and less structure. Think gentle, flowing layers that add volume without harsh lines, side-swept bangs that add softness rather than sharp angles, and textured ends that feel fresh and youthful without losing elegance. These modern touches don't fight age, they enhance your beauty at every stage of life. And then there's color, which, in my opinion, plays a huge role in maintaining a youthful and vibrant appearance. I've seen so many women overlook how their hair color changes over the years, and it's a mistake that can sometimes age them more than they realize. As we age, our hair color naturally shifts from its rich, deep tones to softer, silvery strands. It's a beautiful process, one that should be embraced, but there's a catch. The texture of your hair often changes too, and it can become more coarse, wiry, and sometimes even translucent. It's part of nature's design, but that doesn't mean we have to simply surrender to it. I've worked with countless women who made the mistake of clinging to the dark colors they once wore. What used to look youthful now creates harsh contrasts with softening skin tones, highlighting fine lines rather than your natural beauty. Take Janet, for example. She was 71, a retired attorney, and had been dyeing her hair dark brown for 25 years. "It's what my husband remembered," she said with a sigh, even though he had passed 3 years earlier. I gently suggested we honor her natural transition by incorporating more dimension and allowing her natural silver to shine through. The transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. When Janet saw herself in the mirror, something shifted. "I feel like myself again," she whispered, as if the weight of the past had been lifted. For women with warm skin tones, think soft honey blondes, warm caramels, or auburn hues that enhance your natural glow. For cooler skin tones, ash blondes and cool brunettes can brighten your complexion without competing with it. For deeper skin tones, rich chocolate browns with hints of caramel or deep burgundy add depth and dimension. At the end of the day, it's not about trying to look younger. It's about looking your best, feeling your best, and embracing your age with grace. Color, when done right, enhances your natural beauty. It's about creating a dimension that reflects your vitality and wisdom, and most importantly, it's about you feeling radiant no matter what stage of life you're in. Finally, I want to talk about something that's often overlooked, the importance of using the right hair products. As we age, our hair becomes more delicate, and the products that worked wonders in your 40s and 50s may no longer serve you well. Hormonal changes during menopause affect how your hair absorbs products, often leaving it feeling drier while paradoxically absorbing too much moisture. It's like trying to water a plant with the wrong kind of soil. It just doesn't work the same. The right products are essential to keeping your hair healthy, shiny, and manageable as you navigate this new chapter of your life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Every day I see well-intentioned product mistakes that can cause real damage, especially when it comes to hair care for mature clients. It breaks my heart to witness people trusting heavy oils and butter-based products that promise to tame frizz but end up weighing down thinning hair, making it appear flat, greasy, and lifeless within just a few hours. I understand the struggle. It's frustrating when products don't work as advertised, and the worst part is that you're left with hair that feels heavier, less manageable, and just plain unattractive. The same goes for conventional shampoos with harsh sulfates. These shampoos strip away the precious natural oils your scalp still produces, leaving your hair dry, brittle, and much worse off than before. And then there are those so-called two-in-one products that promise to simplify our hair care routine, but often they leave a waxy residue that builds up over time. That buildup dulls your hair's natural shine, making it look perpetually dirty and lifeless. I get it. We all want the best for our hair. And I truly believe that proper care doesn't need to come with a hefty price tag. Some of the most budget-friendly drugstore brands now offer excellent alternatives that work wonders for mature hair. Brands like Neutrogena, L'Oreal, and Garnier have sulfate-free shampoos that are gentle yet effective, and you don't have to spend more than $10 for conditioner. Don't be afraid to go for lightweight formulas that are specifically labeled volumizing or for fine hair. These offer moisture without the weight, and that's key. When it comes to styling, I highly recommend skipping those heavy creams that do more harm than good. Instead, look for alcohol-free mousses or spray gels that give you hold and texture without weighing everything down. I've learned the hard way, and now I urge everyone to become a label detective when shopping for products. Trust me, the ingredients matter more than you think. Stay away from ingredients like dimethicone and heavy silicones. They might make your hair feel soft at first, but they cause buildup that can suffocate your strands. Harsh sulfates like sodium lauryl sulfate are also too stripping for mature hair. And synthetic fragrances? They may smell nice, but they can be irritants, especially for sensitive scalps. Look for ingredients that will nurture your hair naturally, like aloe vera, panthenol, vitamin B5, and lightweight oils like argan. These ingredients nourish, protect, and strengthen your hair over time. I always suggest 3 distinct categories of products to my mature clients: a gentle clarifying shampoo to remove buildup once a week, a moisturizing shampoo that's sulfate-free for daily use, and a lightweight leave-in conditioner or detangler for styling. Mousses can create beautiful volume at the roots, and lightweight serums are great for taming frizz at the ends without ever flattening your style. I'll never forget Susan, a 67-year-old client who was frustrated with her limp, lifeless hair. She had been using the same heavy conditioner and styling cream for decades, wondering why her once bouncy hair now felt flat and lifeless. We switched her to lightweight versions specifically designed for mature hair, and within just 2 weeks, she called me in a burst of excitement. "Richard, I can see my waves again. My daughter asked if I got a perm." Her transformation was a reminder of how just a small change can make a world of difference. It's not all about the products, though. To truly care for your hair, you have to consider your ongoing maintenance. Skipping regular trims is one of the most common mistakes I see. "I'm growing it out" is the excuse I hear most often, but here's the truth. After 60, your hair grows about 10% slower than it did in your 40s. Without regular trims, the ends become more prone to splitting and breakage. When you skip trims for months or even years, those fragile ends split further up the strand, ultimately reducing your length and volume over time. Trust me when I say this, neglecting your hair only makes it harder to manage in the long run. When you don't trim, your hair loses its shape, and it's like fighting a losing battle against a wild, untamed garden. Regular trims keep your hair looking fresh and healthy. For shortcuts, aim to trim every 4 to 6 weeks to maintain that sharp, clean shape. For shoulder-length styles, 8 weeks is ideal, while for longer hair, every 10 to 12 weeks should suffice. I know regular salon visits can add up, but there are ways around this. Consider looking for services at reduced prices, like visiting beauty schools for discounted trims, or scheduling appointments on quieter days for better rates. Patricia, a 73-year-old retired teacher, hadn't trimmed her hair in over a year. We set up a 10-week trim schedule, removing just half an inch each time. 6 months later, her daughter brought her flowers to the appointment, saying, "Mom's confidence is blooming right along with her hair." It was such a moving moment. Let's also talk about heat styling tools, the curling irons and flat irons we rely on every morning. These tools might be your hair's worst enemy, especially after 60. When you subject mature hair to temperatures over 300 degrees, you're essentially cooking it from the inside out. The moisture inside each strand evaporates rapidly, and while younger hair can sometimes recover, your hair's natural repair processes slow down with age. Over time, you'll notice the signs of heat damage, ends that split no matter how often you trim, hair that feels rough even after conditioning, increased breakage when brushing, and those fragile baby hairs around your hairline that are just broken pieces. I want you to embrace air drying when you can. For shorter styles, a lightweight mousse applied to damp hair and styled with your fingers creates natural volume. For medium-length cuts, large self-grip rollers in damp hair give you beautiful waves without the need for heat. For longer styles, consider loose braiding while your hair is still damp for effortless heat-free waves. When heat styling is necessary, always use a heat protectant and keep the temperature below 300 degrees. Remember, never use heat on wet hair. It's just too damaging. Ellen, a 66-year-old client of mine, had flat-ironed her hair daily for years. After we introduced a heat detox, limiting styling to once a week and focusing on heat-free methods, her hair started to bounce back. After 8 weeks, her new growth looked visibly healthier, and she had shaved 20 minutes off her morning routine. "I never knew my natural texture could look so good," she told me, "and it was one of the most rewarding moments of my career." With the right products, regular trims, and mindful styling practices, you can transform the health of your hair without breaking the bank or sacrificing your time. It's not just about vanity, it's about embracing your hair, honoring its natural beauty, and giving it the care it truly deserves. Ignoring your natural growth patterns can lead to a lifetime of frustration. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, struggling to style your hair in a way that just doesn't seem to stay? It feels like no matter what you do, your hair naturally falls in the same direction, like it's stubbornly rebelling against your every effort. But it's not stubbornness. It's your hair's unique growth pattern, as individual as your fingerprint. I truly believe that recognizing and embracing these natural tendencies is key to finding peace with your hair. To discover your natural pattern, try this simple exercise. Wash your hair and let it air dry without touching it, styling it, or trying to control it. Watch how it naturally falls, where it parts, the direction it sweeps across your forehead, and how it stands up at your crown. As we age, particularly after 60, our hair becomes finer and lighter, which means it's even more likely to fall into these natural growth patterns. With less weight to hold it in unnatural positions, fighting against these natural tendencies becomes not just difficult, but an exhausting battle. Trust me, it's one you simply cannot win. I've watched so many women day after day struggle with their hair, fighting it with every tool in the box. Heat, products, and endless styling, trying to force it into submission. But this only creates a frustrating, never-ending cycle. You style it, maybe even perfectly, but as the day goes on, your hair gradually shifts back into its natural pattern, and by afternoon it looks nothing like it did in the morning. For those of us dealing with problematic cowlicks, I suggest asking your stylist to cut that section just a bit longer to give it some weight and help control that pesky lift. For widow's peaks, a side-swept bang that works with the natural growth direction can look much more flattering and natural than blunt bangs fighting against it. If your natural part has shifted with age, following that new part, rather than forcing the one you've been used to for decades, will bring more volume and much less frustration. I can't tell you how many women have called me in relief after allowing their hair to follow its natural flow. One of my most memorable clients is Dorothy, a 78-year-old former flight attendant who spent decades fighting against her strong side part, convinced that a center part would create a more balanced look. She had battled this every day, all while trying to create the perfect style. When we finally embraced her natural side part, designing a cut that celebrated her growth pattern, she was utterly amazed. "I've spent over 50 years fighting my hair," she laughed, tears of joy in her eyes. Who knew surrender could be so liberating? That moment of realization was more than just a hair makeover, it was a breakthrough in how she saw herself. When you stop fighting against nature, you allow yourself the freedom to embrace who you are at this stage of your life, and that's where the real transformation happens. Another common mistake I see, and one that causes many women to feel frustrated with their hair, is not considering the shape of their face. The best hairstyle for you isn't necessarily the one that's trending, but rather the one that creates harmony with your unique face shape. This isn't about vanity, it's about achieving visual balance and proportion and enhancing the natural beauty that comes with age. As we age, our facial contours change. Cheeks may lose some fullness, jawlines might soften, and certain features may become more pronounced. Your hairstyle should evolve to complement these shifts, not ignore them. I've seen too many women stubbornly holding on to old styles that no longer work for their evolving faces. We need to let go of that and embrace what makes us feel the most confident now. To determine your face shape, pull your hair back completely and look closely in the mirror. Is your face circular, round, or perhaps longer than wide? Maybe it's oval with a wide cheekbone area and a narrower chin, or heart-shaped, or square with a strong jawline. Knowing your face shape is the first step to unlocking the best style for you. From there, you can see how different styles will complement or enhance your natural features. For round faces, adding height at the crown and length below the chin creates the illusion of an oval shape. Heart-shaped faces look amazing with side-swept bangs and length at the jawline to balance a narrower chin. For square faces, soft layers starting at the cheekbones can create movement around the jawline. Long faces can benefit from bangs or volume at the sides to balance out the length. A good haircut is a game changer, visually adjusting your proportions to give you a fresh, more youthful look without trying to make you look younger. For most women over 60, the most universally flattering hair lengths tend to fall between the chin and shoulders, and I wholeheartedly agree with this. Catherine, a 69-year-old client with a heart-shaped face, had worn the same blunt shoulder-length cut for years. It looked fine for a while, but I could tell it wasn't doing her any favors anymore. We created a gentle layered cut with side-swept bangs and more volume around her jawline, and the change was nothing short of stunning. My daughter asked if I'd had work done, she chuckled, almost as if she couldn't believe it herself. Just a better haircut, she said with a radiant smile. It was incredible to see how something as simple as a haircut could transform not just her appearance, but also her sense of self-worth. She looked in the mirror and saw a version of herself she hadn't recognized in years, a version she loved. Wearing hair too tight is another issue that can wreak havoc on your strands, especially as you get older. While sleek ponytails or smooth buns might look polished, they're silently damaging your precious hair. Many women over 60 suffer from traction alopecia, a form of hair loss caused by the constant pulling of hair in tight styles. The damage is subtle, but over time, it affects your hairline, temples, and even behind the ears. Traction alopecia isn't the same as age thinning. It's caused by tension. This is a particularly sensitive issue for older women because our hair follicles are more fragile with age, and once damaged, they may not fully recover. If you've ever noticed scalp soreness, redness, or small bumps around your hairline, or experienced headaches after wearing tight styles, you might be dealing with this condition. Your scalp needs to breathe and move naturally, just like the rest of your skin. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Instead of pulling your hair tight, I suggest trying gentler styles. Soft, low buns that are secured with open pins instead of tight elastics can distribute tension more evenly. Loose side braids are a chic way to reduce strain on your hairline while maintaining sophistication. You can also replace regular elastics with fabric-covered bands that won't cause breakage. And for updos, a wide-toothed comb can help secure your hair without pulling. For nighttime, consider a loose braid secured with a soft scrunchie to protect your hair while you sleep. And don't forget about a silk pillowcase. It's a game changer in reducing friction, keeping your hair intact, and minimizing breakage as you move through the night. Jennifer, a 74-year-old former executive, came to me concerned about her increasingly visible scalp. After years of wearing tight hairstyles, we transitioned her to looser, more comfortable methods. Within just 4 months, she noticed new fine growth along her temples. Such a simple change has made such a difference, she told me with a warm smile. One of the most overlooked aspects of styling is the power of accessories. They aren't just a decorative afterthought. They're psychological tools that can elevate your entire look and transform how you feel about yourself. When you choose a beautiful clip, an elegant scarf, or a stylish headband, you're not just adding a piece of fabric or plastic to your hair. You're making an intentional style choice that signals confidence, self-assurance, and maturity. Many of my clients have told me that just adding the right accessory immediately boosts their mood and makes them feel more polished, more put together, more themselves. For professional or formal settings, subtle tortoiseshell clips, elegant combs with minimal embellishments, or slender headbands in sophisticated patterns add polish without appearing juvenile. For more casual days, colorful scarves, decorative bobby pins, or clips made from natural materials can complement your natural coloring and add an extra layer of flair. These accessories not only make a visual statement, but can also work wonders in camouflaging common concerns. A well-placed clip can hide thinning at the temples, while a beautiful silk scarf tied as a headband can discreetly cover growing out bangs or roots during the transition to embracing your natural silver. Accessories also have practical benefits. A soft headband keeps your hair out of your face during exercise without causing tension headaches. When you travel and styling tools might not be available, a silk scarf can be your best friend, creating elegant updos without a single heat tool in sight. Diane, a 76-year-old former art professor, shared how accessories help transform her relationship with her hair. After chemotherapy caused significant hair loss, she began collecting vibrant scarves. As her hair grew back, now silver instead of brown, those scarves became her signature. "They became my signature," she said with pride. "People stopped seeing my thin spots and started complimenting my style." These thoughtful, intentional finishing touches complete your transformation. By embracing your natural beauty and making small, meaningful changes, you're not just creating a hairstyle, you're making a statement. The most important statement of all is that you honor who you are today at this moment, with a style that reflects your wisdom, confidence, and life experience. Remember, beautiful hair at any age isn't about looking younger. It's about looking your absolute best right now. I hope you've gained some valuable insights today. From understanding your natural growth patterns to choosing the right products, embracing your face shape, and even powerfully making use of accessories, there's so much to consider when it comes to caring for your hair, especially as we age. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling confident and embracing who you are right now at this stage in life. So, what have you learned so far? Is there one piece of advice you're excited to start implementing in your hair care routine? Maybe it's switching to a sulfate-free shampoo, embracing your natural part, or experimenting with a new accessory. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below, sharing the one thing you're going to bring into practice in your life moving forward. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue bringing more helpful content your way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.